Good morning, guys. Hey, it's Darlene with Couture. It is Friday morning, and I see people struggling with these transfers. So I wanted to show you how to do these and what you need to do to make it work. So I'm going to do two different ones. I'm going to do a cute girly one with pink. This is bubblegum pink. This is a retired color. But I have so many of them. I'm going to start using some of my retired colors. You could use any color you want. Just use your imagination. If you want a purple boot, if you want a gray boot. And I'm going to pair this up with my peacock. And then for the boy one, I am going to use bark and black. So with these transfers, they have a number in the bottom. This is our Boots and Bling. It's a cowgirl thing. Down at the bottom is a number 1, and this is a number 2. So that means that number 1 goes on first. Your bigger screened area is going to go on first. These are silk screen transfers. They're similar to a stencil, but they have a silk screen in them. And you can see that it's really obvious right here. There's fabric in there. That is what is going to get your nice clean image. When we pull this off, it's going to look nice and crisp. This is a surface that I bought. I think this one was from Michael's, and I have waxed this. When you have a painted surface, you need to put wax on it to protect your transfer. And this transfer has been used before, so I am not going to fuzz the transfer. If the transfer is brand new, you will need to fuzz it because it will be too sticky. And you don't want it to be too sticky because then you could damage your transfer and part of it will stick to the board underneath. So make sure you have all of your air bubbles out. This is the wax I use. I use Howard's Premium Paste Wax from Home Depot. You can use Min Wax. You can use whatever wax that you want. I'm going to take my chalk paste. You want it to be the consistency of sour cream or yogurt. If it's too thick, you just simply spritz a little bit of water in there and then stir. I'm going to put it on here, and I'm going to use a squeegee and squeegee this around and then scrape the excess off. There are registration marks. I don't generally use that. I can line this up by looking through my design. So I am not going to chalk the registration marks. I'm going to go, they're like little circles with X's in them. I am not going to do them. Simply going to do the boot and then scrape off the excess. Excess goes back into your jar because you can reuse that. I'm going to put my squeegee to this side, and then I'm going to pull, and you're going to pull down or side to side. And then this is going to go into my water bath. I have a container of water over here to soak these in until I can clean them. You don't want to let the chalk paste dry on your transfer. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do the boot, this part, and then we'll dry it all together because we'll need to dry in between. This one has been used also. I had a couple of transfers. You're going to save your back of sheets. I put an X on the back. This side is a matte finish. The side it goes on is glossy. So when you're done and you wash these, you're going to put it back onto the glossy side. And this is simply a piece of wood that I painted white and then I waxed it also. You want to get all your air bubbles out, press down firmly so that your design goes through nice. See, it's just a piece of wood. It's 1/4 inch Baltic birch plywood that I cut. And then this is bark. I'm going to take that and I'm going to spoon it on here just like I did with the other, and I'm going to spread the chalk paste with a squeegee. These are from Couture. They're the squeegees that work best. One of my videos I showed using a credit card. If you went somewhere and you forgot your squeegees, you could use an old credit card, a library card, that will work in a pinch, but these work best. So I suggest getting a variety of sizes. This is an older one that they don't have anymore. They have the minis. The minis are great for small areas. They have the 4-inch handled squeegee that's great for a big, large sign, so that you get it all worked and smooth before it dries. All right, gonna go ahead and pull the transfer and get it into the water bath. Okay, so now I'm gonna dry this with a heat gun. I have an industrial heat gun here. I'm going to go ahead and dry this. And it dries really quickly, but you want to keep your heat gun moving so that you don't bubble up the chalk paste. You can see it turning color as it dries. The pink, it's not so much, but the brown, I can see it changing color. Okay, now I'm going to turn this just to air so that I can get this back down to room temperature. All right, so you want to feel your board. Make sure it's not hot, because we do not want to put this onto a hot surface. And for the boy one, we don't want Boots and Bling, it's a cowgirl thing. We just want the design. So what you do is you can take your blue painter's tape and cover the words up. And that way we will still get all of the design, but we won't get those words. You can do this with any transfer. If you just want part of a transfer, just tape off the part you don't want. Just like when you are painting a room and you're protecting an area that you don't want paint to get onto. That is what we're doing. We are protecting the surface underneath from having these words put on there. And I could just try to avoid it, but I know how I am. Sometimes I just go with it and then it's too late. So when you are putting a second layer, you need to fuzz this. Even though it's been used, you want to make sure that you fuzz this, because you do not want to pull up the chalk paste underneath. So I'm going to fuzz this 6 times. It's going to take off some of that sticky. It actually doesn't take off the sticky. What it does is it puts some of these fibers onto the back of my transfer. So it's not quite as sticky. It's sticky enough. Okay, and the other thing that we can do is we can take our little rag that had wax on it. So this is the rag that I used to wax it, and just gently wipe over where you're going to go. And that will just put a really thin barrier in between. So it's not, I didn't dip this in it. This is the residual from when I wiped these down yesterday. Okay, now I'm going to line this up. So you can look through this and you can see where it goes. Just be patient and get it lined up. If you want to use the registration marks, you can. And you could put like a little tiny piece of blue painter's tape right there so that you could see the registration mark. You could do that. Now I chose teal and I'm thinking black now. Oh goodness. So maybe I'm changing my mind midstream, because I think that black and the pink would really pop. Okay. Bye-bye, peacock. Your history. Okay, let's get the other side ready. I don't know how well the black's going to show up on the brown, but it's for boys, so it's not going to matter. It is going to show, but it's not going to pop, but it is for a boy, and you don't need it to pop. For a girl, I want a good contrast. Okay, so I think that was 6. I'm going to line this up. You can see through your transfer, you can see where it's supposed to go. And if it's not perfect, don't stress. Do the best that you can. That's all that we can ask of ourselves. And then you're just going to smooth out. I feel like I need to move this up just a touch. You're going to smooth this out so that you get out all of your air bubbles. So I'm going to be using black on both of these. That'll be easy. I'll use this one here. I've stirred it up, and this is my multi-tool. It gets down to the bottom of the jar. This is our 8-ounce. That is our super stash. And the colors that those come in are black velvet, our bright white, and storm. So there's 3 colors that you can get the super stash in. Those are the most popular colors. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I have this nice and even, all smoothed out before I pull my transfer. Okay, right down the center. Gonna set my, you know what, right here. Here's the black one. Gonna set that right on the lid. Gonna pull my transfer carefully. And right here, my words did not show up as well as I would like them to. I'm just gonna go over those words right there. And then I'm gonna pull it. Okay. You know what? Just gonna put just a little bit more right there. This is your chance to fix it as you're going. If it doesn't look like the words are coming out, like, okay, did you see that? We're gonna put a little bit of moisture on that, and then we're gonna pull. Okay, the bottom is, I need to get a paper towel that's wet. I am simply taking a paper towel and gonna dampen it. The bottom is starting to dry. We're just gonna get a little bit of moisture back into that on the bottom, and then we're gonna pull this. Okay, that's all I did, because it was starting to dry on there. Perfect. Okay, that's how I want it to be, just like that. I'm wiping my fingers. I'm messy. I got some of the black on my fingers. Okay, I'm gonna work more quickly. I think what it is, the black is a little too thick. So I'm gonna add some water in there and get it just a little bit thinner than it is. I think that was what the problem is. So this one should turn out even better. So I have all my detail on there and it looks good. I know people said they had a hard time. I think that they just needed to keep it moist as they were going. And that is one of the key things, is you need to work quickly. You cannot sit there and fuss over this. You have to get your chalk paste on. You have to spread it and then squeegee off the excess. You can't sit and fuss over it. That is not something you can do with this type of a product. Get it on, squeegee it off, pull your transfer. Oops, and I got some on there. We'll fix that. Okay, so that looks good. I have a little oopsie there. No problem. My blue painter's tape didn't cover that up. We'll fix those. So I'm pulling the blue painter's tape off of the transfer before I put it into the water bath. Okay, got those into my water bath. Gonna wipe my fingers. I use lots of paper towels. Okay, I have a little oopsie right there. No worries. I'm gonna take a little makeup Q-tip, and I wet it with the spray bottle and it's gone. So up here, what I could do is just simply take a tiny bit of the brown to cover that up. And that's all that I need to do, is just put that on there. And then as soon as it's dry, it's not going to show. Oops. Just like that. And then I'll just blend it with my finger. All right. So there's our two projects. One that's girly and one that's for a boy. That was fairly easy. I just wanted to show, I know a lot of people have a problem with this transfer, but it does not have to be a problem. You just have to work quickly. So if you are interested in learning more about Couture, just put info in the comments and I'll get back with you. If you want to order from my website, the link is on there. And I'm going to finish this up and I'm going to head to my craft show soon. You guys have a wonderful weekend. It's going to be beautiful here. I hope your weather is just as good. Thanks for joining me.